Hey guys, my name is Sicsen and today I'm with my girlfriend Allie.
That's me.
And we're gonna pretend that this pimple on my face does not exist right now.
You mean my entire face?
You don't have any acne. You have no acne. I literally, I hate acne. It just never stops. God.
God.
So today we're gonna be talking about the fact that I am trans and I wasn't trans when we started dating because we have been dating for a year and almost a month.
Yeah.
At the time when we first started dating, I, identified as a girl, or I was like kind of between non-binary and girl, and I kind of thought of myself as non-binary, but I didn't really tell that to anybody. I just kept it to myself and basically like told everyone that I was a girl. So we met on
Her,
a lesbian app. You can like put your gender identity on there, and I'm pretty sure I just had like female, whatever. And so obviously now I do not identify that way. I identify as non-binary, trans masculine. I go by he, him, or they, them pronouns. I'm obviously pre-everything, as you can probably tell, but I do eventually probably want to go on hormones. I am nervous. Like, the one thing that I'm nervous about going on hormones is the acne, as I was talking about earlier in this video, because I know that it's kind of like going through puberty again, and I'm probably gonna get like hella acne. Aww. And I'm not ready. But I also want to go through surgery, and so I have come to this realization over the past couple months, and she's been here with me throughout that whole kind of a rough time. And so we're just gonna talk about like how I kind of came out to her and her like reactions to it and how to get through it in case you're going through this, if your partner or something is going through this, or if you yourself are. So we're just gonna share our own experiences, because I know that sometimes it doesn't go as well as it did for us. Like, I mean, it's possible that whoever you're dating, like if you're thinking about transitioning into another gender, it's possible that they are not gonna be cool with it. And I mean, it happens. Like, not everyone is totally cool with it. That just means that they're not the one for you, and that doesn't mean that they're like a bad person or transphobic or anything. You identified as lesbian, and I was kind of nervous because I was nervous that you were gonna be like, oh, but I'm a lesbian, so I can't date you. But you kind of just like,
I was like, okay, I'm pan now.
Yeah, you just like changed,
like, whatever.
Yeah, you changed yourself to cater to whatever I am, so I got lucky in that way. Yeah, so I recently came out. I'm actually filming this before actually filming my coming out video, which I'm planning on posting this week, and then this is going up the next week. But I know that I did want to make this video after, my coming out video and stuff. So I recently came out, and I just kind of wanted to talk about some different topics about that, and this is one of them. So do you remember the first time that I kind of brought up any indicator that I'm trans?
In the beginning of our relationship, you kind of like expressed like the fact that you didn't want your chest and you didn't like it at all, and I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I think because like in the relationship that I was in before this one, I was coming to terms with the fact that I didn't want my chest. Like, my chest is the first thing that I had dysphoria about, and I've had dysphoria about my chest like since it became a thing during puberty. And so I like, in my last relationship, I was like, yeah, I think I like kind of want top surgery, but I don't see it ever happening ever. And so then like when I started dating you, I was already like, yeah, I don't want these, but I didn't really have a plan for them to like be chopped off.
And I remember I asked you, I was like, do you think you're trans? And you were like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you asked me that?
I think because I was thinking about how you didn't like it when I like touched them, and then you said that you wanted them off.
Yeah.
And I was like maybe, do you think you're trans? And you were just kind of like, I don't know about it.
I think it's because like I mean, since I identify as non-binary, like I didn't think that I could, transition medically but also still be non-binary. Like, I was kind of just confused about that whole thing. So I was like, well, if I transition medically, then I'm just gonna be viewed as a man, and I know I'm not a man, but I also know I'm not a woman. And I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused, because sometimes like I go from feeling very masculine to feeling somewhat in the middle, and sometimes even a little bit more feminine, but I'm usually not on the like totally feminine side. But whenever I would get to like that more feminine side, I would be like, oh, I'm not trans. Like, I like, so because sometimes I would like, question myself. I'd be like, could it be? But then, you know, like the next day I'd be like, oh, you know, I feel fine being like a girl and wearing something that's a little bit more feminine. So I like was just confused about the whole thing, and I feel like it was probably confusing to you. Like I was expressing so many different things.
I just kind of went with the flow. I was like, oh, okay, you feel more feminine today, that's fine.
I don't really remember any other specific times, because we didn't, like, I didn't just come out to her like all at once, like, because
slow.
I started off with like, you know, the chest dysphoria thing,
and then you were like thinking, I remember there was one point where you were like super trans, like you were like super like, I'm definitely trans, I'm not like in between, I'm not a girl, and then like the next week you were like, never mind. yeah, like that was kind of recent. Actually I remember before that I was just like at work one day and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get surgery. I'm gonna get top surgery, and I'm gonna get bottom surgery as well, which like I was going a little bit overboard. Bottom surgery is not really on my radar right now because it's just like intense.
If you don't know what bottom surgery entails for people who are trans masculine, it's
look it up.
Yeah, it's just like it's not as easy. I don't want to say easy, but it's not as simple as male to female bottom surgery. So I mean, it sucks, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna go through with that, but that's for another day. And so I remember that, and you were just like, okay, like you were.
I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't really give a shit, and so that kind of made me feel more comfortable about like the fact that I was like, okay, well, she's not gonna leave me because I'm like going through this and questioning my gender and stuff. And so then I remember specifically when like what you were talking about when that happened, because I was like driving to school or something, and I think it was in like March, like the beginning of March, and I was like just driving to school, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm trans.
I remember you put all of like your feminine clothes in like a container. Yeah. And you were like getting rid of everything.
Yeah, I was like, all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I'm trans. Like I've been wearing a binder since I was like 16. Like, I mean, on and off, obviously not all the time, but like recently I had been wearing it all the time, like more and more. And so like I was like, I didn't want to be non-binary. I didn't want to be in between because like I am a very this or that person. Like I hate being like in between. I hate things that aren't black and white, like we were talking about.
Yeah, like I remember you told me, you were like, I was like, do you think like non-binary? Because you were just kind of like, no, like I just want to make up my mind. Like you kept saying, I just want to be like one or the other.
Yeah,
like, I was like, you don't have to be one or the other.
I know, like I was just like so frustrated with myself because I was like, I just want to be one of those people who just knows what they want from the very beginning. Like you hear all these stories about trans people who, you know, like just knew they were trans from like the day they were born or something, and that wasn't me. Like I had no idea. Like, and I only started questioning my gender a couple years ago. So now it's just like, you know, gotten to that point where I've kind of figured myself out, and it's okay that I'm non-binary, but still, you know, I express more masculine. And so then, so when that happened, when I was like, yeah, I'm definitely a trans man, like I am male, not female, and so like it was like a huge change. I was like, I'm throwing out all my female clothes. Call me he, him, call me Tyler. That's the name. I originally chose the name Tyler for just like different reasons, because like I was like, yeah, just call me Tyler, like I want to be called Tyler. So that lasted for maybe like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I started kind of feeling in the middle again, and I was like, okay, well I can't feel like this if I'm 100% a man. And I was just like so frustrated with myself because I was like, what the fuck? Like I thought that I was like totally 100% trans, and like just because I'm non-binary doesn't mean I'm like not trans enough. So like I feel like there's a lot of people who think that non-binary people can't use the term trans to describe themselves, which is not true. And you were like really supportive no matter what, because I was like changing my mind every 2 seconds. Like I was like, actually don't call me Tyler anymore. I don't know what I want to be called. I don't know what pronouns I want to be called. So like I was like, for a long time I just had no idea what I wanted.
Yeah, I was like, just tell me when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, and I was like, I was so not okay with that. I was like, I don't want to like have to burden people with like, oh, use these pronouns for me like this day and then these pronouns the next day. And so
that wouldn't be a burden.
I know. Then I kind of went back to being, you know, called my birth name and stuff. And I didn't have really any label until recently when I was like, okay, I finally kind of figured it out and I want to be called he, him because that's just the most comfortable for me. They, them works too, I guess, because it's neutral. I kind of feel neutral most of the time, or leaning masculine. And so then she, her just doesn't really, I mean, I don't like get super upset when somebody calls me she, but it's just like I would prefer, like if I had a choice, which I do, I would prefer being called he.
Yeah, like I noticed like when you came out to like our group of friends, people just kept calling you she, her, and they didn't really use the other ones. So I was just kind of like,
Yeah, because like when I came out to, like I originally came out to my group of friends before I came out online, and so I said, I was like, I'm not really sure what pronouns I want to use, so just, you can use any pronouns. Since everyone was so comfortable with it, they just kept on using she, her, and then like every time that they did it, I was like, I just heard it like, more than I usually do. Yeah, I was like, no, like I don't want to be annoying, but like actually, yeah, and so, but everyone was super supportive, so I'm really thankful for that.
especially you.
Do you think there's any like challenges that come with like having someone who's transitioning? I mean, obviously like I haven't actually started medically transitioning yet, so we could kind of update on that, but as of right now.
One challenge that, it's not like a challenge, but it's just like something that it's like noticed. It's like, especially since you're non-binary, I don't really know what to call you. Like there's no word for like boyfriend, girlfriend that's like not so gender specific. So I've just been using like significant other, but that just sounds so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess another option would be partner. But I don't have a problem with you calling me your boyfriend, because like obviously I've been using more like male specific pronouns, because I mean in the English language it's kind of hard to be gender neutral with everything. Like I mean, if you think about it, if you like really start paying attention, like gender comes in to like everyday conversation all the time, and it's just really unavoidable. Like I mean, you go somewhere and someone calls you ma'am or sir, and I'm like, okay, like I didn't realize we had to go that far. Like I'm just a person, and but like I mean, I feel like because of that I kind of have to choose one. I'm just more comfortable with, you know, the male vocabulary.
Oh, he's so cute. You're gonna edit this and be like, what the fuck?
I know. Well, I don't really know what else we can talk about.
People can leave their questions for us in the comments. Maybe we can make another one.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about like how my coming out as trans has affected our relationship, like I know that someone asked me like since I'm now identified differently, like someone actually asked me like if we're still gonna date, which is yes, we are still gonna date. Like you still love me, right?
Yeah.
And another question was the way that you identify sexuality wise, because like I said before, she identified as a lesbian and now you're...
Yeah, like I recently, like not even like just because of dating you, I've been kind of like questioning the whole like lesbian thing, because I feel like I just like branded myself as that to like fit in, because everyone was like hating bisexuals and like pan people, and so I feel like I kind of started identifying more as pan, but I didn't really want to say it. But then you coming out was like, okay, now I can like be open more about it.
Well, you shouldn't have been afraid to say it otherwise. That's okay, as long as you don't cheat on me.
I would never.
Yeah. And as for my sexuality, because I'm non-binary, it's just like so hard to define, so I'm just gonna call it queer. Doesn't really matter. Who needs labels anyway? I say with like 15 labels on me.
You have more labels than your clothes.
I know. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about this topic or about anything really, as long as you're respectful, just please ask away and we may make another video on this topic. Thank you guys for continuing to watch my content as I'm going through this time, and it's not easy, but I'm gonna continue to try and make videos for you guys and streams. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace.